Hello and welcome back to Tuesday's vlog. I hope you enjoyed the vlog last week. I am in the process of replying to everybody, so I guess that you all quite like having miniature reviews within the weekly vlog, and I've got a nice one lined up for you right now actually. So I'm just going to go quickly into what's in today. We've got the Yaris, which has got a wobble on the steering. One of my good customers, Dave, so we're going to have a look into that. Had the wheel balanced already at the front. So we're going to take it out soon and give it a drive. And like I've mentioned, this is the Corolla. I spotted that it needed some front brake pads, so the guy that took this car on just said to get them done. So it's in getting the front brake pads done. So weirdly enough, this was his car anyway, which works out in a very strange loop because the other guy I've got in here, Graham, that was his dad's car. So it's ended off being the guy who owned the car. The guy's it's weird how it's worked out anyway. So this used to be Raymond's car, Graham's dad. So it's got a lot of history, this car. Now the guy who's got this just lives across the road. So happy days. So yeah, get the brake pads done on this because I spotted that they were getting low. Got them in. And we've got this Mini in, which is in for brakes. So this is getting the rear pads done, but the only thing with these is the sensors wear with the pads. So when you change the pads, you've got to change the sensors on them, which is a bit of a daft idea because half the time you wouldn't need to change the wear indicators, but on these you do. It's had an oil change, which is a very awful job on these. You've got to pull all the pipes apart and everything. Citroen Peugeot engine that's in them, the DV6, the 1600 HDI. That I'm pointing up there, but you've got to take all the coolant tank off. All these pipework's been damaged for years. These we just have to try to keep repairing them as best as we can because they keep rattling and everything. So the oil and filter's been done and it's in for MOT, which we'll be getting on with shortly. That's what I was saying to you there. We've got the discs in just in case it needed them, pads, and they're the wear indicators. So if you look, the little tip on them wears with the pad. So even if you change the pads and they're 40% worn, you've still got to change the wear indicator. But that's not the hard bit, it's this. To hide this plug, like underneath all the inner arch liners, what you've got to drop down to get them in. So that's done anyway. So on to a little mini review, which I couldn't resist on this car. I have actually seen this car locally. I didn't realise this was one he bought, but it did catch my eye quite a few times in the local area. This S-Class, absolutely gorgeous. I love the colour, I love the spec, I love the way how the colour comes around here. It's your 3.2 V6 diesel, pretty much bulletproof on these, no bother at all. But I mean, when you get a look at it for a 56 plate car, it's absolutely immaculate. But it's some size vehicle. Personally, the interior does it for me. You've got your big Brembo brakes, very much the same as what's on my ML. Really has got some presence, this vehicle. I really do. I love this shape. S-Class as well, or S-Series, or whatever they call it. What do they call it? The M-Class and the S-Class. Yeah, that's kind of like how they class it. Lovely. So they have the bi-xenon headlights on it. Headlight wash. I'm not sure if it's quite got all. It's obviously got all of the parking sensors at the front. I don't know if it's got any radar or anything like that. But yeah, what a lovely car this is. A quick look at the back seats. Huge back door. Look at that. Trim galore. Wood trim everywhere. Proper comfy seats. We'll have a look in here. Look at this. Obviously front heated seats. You've got all your individual controls. Little storage compartments. Look how thick those seats are though. I'm not a one for wood normally, but this really does, in my opinion, suit this car with the dark leather. Very nice. The boot will be huge, no doubt. Today's got all the guys' gear in. Obviously the red lights on there. But very nice. I really do like this. We'll jump in, obviously automatic dip, dim and door mirrors as well. All your controls on here, electric folding mirrors, all sorts. Jump in, and it's got the full digital dashboard on it. That is a screen. Bearing in mind, this is a 56 plate car. Nowadays, you can get cars with this on. That's a real pointer, and those are, but that's all digital on there. And you've got your main screen here. And again, I love that clock. That Mercedes clock is absolutely lovely. And this nice band of real buttons, so you don't have to do everything through the computer. It's got this little, I love this thing. Old school mobile phone. It's got all the seat adjustment, whether or not that's massaging seats or something like that. It's great. What's this all here? The back headrest to go down, the modes for the gearbox, volume, all the rest of it. I'll just go and grab the key off Graham so I can put the ignition on. It's just really nice place to be, really, in these interiors. I don't know what I'm pressing or touching here, so I don't want to touch too much. But you got all that will change if you put the sat nav onto here. So you've got all these settings. And you've got all these kind of headlight washers. I do like the idea of these switches with the corrugated areas on them, electronic handbrake. Just really nice. And all these screens on here, they're just great. You know, say the age of the car. You know, you can scroll through all the different settings, lighting. Really advanced, you know, for a 56 plate car. Yeah, so yeah, I'm just going to leave that one there, really. We're going to get on, sort the back pads on this Mini. But again, I hate servicing them Minis because even when you're doing a basic service, you've got to plug the scanner on, and there's all sorts of settings you need to adjust, which does my head in. We normally just press one button, reset the light, but not with those. So rear pads, oil and filter, we've already checked it over, MOT, job done. Corolla, front pads, and this, funny enough, this S-Class, he's just bought it, and he's just been in to get some genuine Bosch wipers fitted. So he's a bit like me. He's bought it and he straight away got onto us and does what I do with all my cars. As he's even got the heated windscreen at the bottom as well there. Genuine set of Bosch wipers on. He's getting oil. It had the oil and filter done when he bought it. So he says, look, Dan, he said, order us the air filters. There's two on these. Pollen filter, fuel filter, and a set of good wipers. So it's nice to see people taking the same approach I do with every car. Whether or not it's an old banger or something like that, like an S-Class, it's always a good idea when you get a car, if you don't know the history, get it fully serviced, stick some good wipers on it, check the tyres, check the brakes, etc, etc. So please, let us know what you think of this review on the S-Class. I can't tell you every fact and figure. I don't even know about the power. In fact, there's one thing I will look at now, see if it's got a DPF. I think it will be 0.5. I'm not obviously going to show the VIN number so much down there, but yeah, it's probably got a DPF on it. But so really, that's the only kind of thing on it, on this S-Class, that I would say is something to make sure you clear out. You know, but for a 56 plate car, it's very, very advanced. I didn't think they were. These models were as advanced at this year. So it's opened my eyes up, because if I see a one, I may be tempted. But I don't need a car this big, I really don't, especially with it not being a hatchback or an estate. It wouldn't be any use to me. So I'll catch you tomorrow. I might do a quick video when I've got the Corolla stripped down and see what's wrong with this Yaris. So I'll catch you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog. Quick update on the Mini, just thought I'd show you, because the guy who turned up with that S-Class just caught us off guard, because he works on the oil rigs and he had parts he had asked us to order that he wanted us to fit the wipers and stuff, and I thought I would do a quick little review of that car, because I think you'll like it quite a few years. I just thought I'd show you how things have developed with the Mini. Off doing the discs and pads, but it's these sensors, like I was mentioning to you, which you've got to thread back through, and they go up inside of the subframe underneath all these covers, which I was mentioning were a pain. So yeah, obviously that's the sensor there, just so I can show you. You've got to break them when you remove them off. Obviously you don't need to keep them, but they need to be replaced with the pads on these. Main thing with this is the calipers and the slides had all become tight, which had then worn the back surface of the disc, so you may as well do the job right, and then that's just finished with now. So there's the new wear sensor, pads, and the disc fitted. I'll show you later on when I bring it down just where the oil filter's buried, and then we're going to start on the Corolla doing the pads on that. Just thought I'd show you a bit on the Mini with the diagnostics. First up, I'll show you what I was on about with the oil filter. It is buried down there, and all these pipes you've got to remove even the coolant tank, have got to loosen that off just to get in one of the most awkward oil filters. I was showing you the other day on a DV6 engine with the tapered seal, and the filters have to go in a certain way, so there's a little locating dowel. You mess that up, you round all the plastic off, and you cause yourself a lot of problems. So yeah, just generally not good to work on when you're ramming engines into vehicles that they were never designed for. What I don't understand is, before 06, the Minis that went from 2001 to 2006, they used the Toyota 1.4 D4D engine, fantastic engine. Then in 06, because of emissions, 56, emissions reasons, they changed to Citroen and Peugeot. You got your Prince petrol engine, 1600, horrendous, probably one of the worst engines ever made. And then the diesels got the DV6. Not a bad engine, as I've mentioned. We don't tend to get involved with them. We service them, do the odd EGR valve, and we'll leave it at that. But personally, for me, unless it was just a cheap runabout, I would never buy a car with these engines in. Really, I wouldn't spend substantial money on it, put it that way. I wouldn't say I wouldn't have one. I've had Picassos and various other Citroen Peugeots, and to be honest, they've drove okay. But these engines genuinely scare me because the oil system on them clogs up, the turbos go, and are just very expensive on low-value vehicles to repair. So the only thing I would say to anybody when buying any vehicle, Ford, Mini, Mazda have them in, loads of engines across the range, just be careful. Make sure you're getting the one that's been well looked after, as in regular services. So that's that. I just thought I'd show you that. But now, on to the biggest waste of time with these, we need to reset the service lights. So the scanner's plugged in, and there's a whole load of faffing about involved. We need to reset the service, which I'll show you. It's not just as simple as a light on these. Because we've changed the back brakes and the sensor, we need to do that. So it's plugged in, switched on. Now I'll just set things up, bear with us. So we'll do it here, out the way of the light. So first up, we're going to go into service. Believe it or not, oil reset. Trust us, the brakes come into it here. And then we'll look for Mini, which I don't see on there. Just type it in, Mini. Let it load. I'll cut out if this takes like a more amount of time than I want it to get to where I need to be, because it's just a whole load of faffing around sometimes. Automatic selection. So yeah, we're into it now. Cooper D, just the diesel obviously. And then get into this system. Basically uncheck off what we've done. So I'll pause out here while it goes. We don't need to be sitting looking at it. It'll actually saying that it's going faster than I thought. Right, so into it now. So hot functions is what we want. And here we are. So we're going to here, into the KWP. Yes, check the date and times, correct the vehicle, which it is. And then we'll get all these. So it's busy reading the conditions of everything, and I'll show you where we're at. So there we go. So engine oil, first of all, 84%. She hasn't done the miles, but it's done a full year, so we'll reset that, and that'll send that back to 100%. Yes. As you can see though, I just want to press a button and get on with things, but this is why I can't stand BMWs and Minis, because they're just such a faff with things like this. So again there, so it's telling you, engine oil 100%, front brakes 49%, obviously we're leaving them be, we haven't touched them. Rear brakes now, only thing I will say, if you have access to one of these scanners and you don't know what you're doing, don't ever press the reset button on brakes when you haven't changed the sensor. Not that why you would do that, but if you ever did, you will cause massive problems for yourself. So we'll go down to the vehicle check. I'll leave the brakes for now. Vehicle check, obviously it's been inspected, yes, do that, and that just brings all the little tolerances down within the vehicle. I don't know if they're shown or not. It's when you basically, that little apostrophe mark down there, that will always remain on, because this car's got a little fault with one of the headlamp leveling devices, which I need to look at. But with the Minis, they'll give diff. So what you could do with this, for example, I could reset all the service lights off here, but because the rear brakes are at 3%, which it thinks they weren't near 3%, is it will never let the service, like mileage schedule, drop. They go up to say 10,000 mile. It'll keep it at like 1,000 and constantly remind you it needs a service. So we'll go through the diesel additive. That's a separate thing, and then just basically the inspection date. So that says 1122. We'll have to bring that back to where it needs to be. And so F1 activated. It's loading that up now. And we're obviously going to select the month, which is going to be, what's this one we're in? July 07. Enter. In the year, it'll be 23. Enter. And then sometimes if we go into the car now, it'll reset everything. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. No, it's not. It does when you actually come to switch it on. The reason it'll not be is because of the brake pads. Yeah, it's actually programming it in there now. See if the dashboard registers anything. I think with this being a later Mini, it doesn't show till it actually programs. So we'll go back now. So now on to the brakes. Go on to there, reset. Hopefully this works. Reset. And that should take that to 100% for rear brakes. Let that load. It's telling you, obviously, because it's need to reset the, basically telling you reset the ignition back on again, which we're going to do. So there we go, hit the reset button, turn the ignition off and on, rear brakes back to 100%. So obviously engine oil 100%, brakes 100%, brake fluid, we'll change that when we're on doing the brakes. We've got the vehicle check, diesel additive, and it's telling you there's 023. So now, when we switch the ignition off and then back on again, it should be reading what it should be saying. Let's have a look. So switch it on. On, there we go, 12,000 mile, 0723 is its next service. Need to look at these levelling devices, but they're working perfectly fine. They are levelling, and they're not bi-xenons, they're just standard bulbs. So we'll have a look into that. It might end up probably more than likely knowing these a new headlamp, I would assume, unless you can remove the piece out of it. I don't think you can, because everything is all in here. That's the levelling device, which is inside of the headlamp. So who knows? When I've switched them on, the beam is perfectly fine. So yeah, quick video there just to show you the faff involved with these, so you can be on. I mean, I know what I'm doing with that machine. Say somebody like my dad who doesn't use it very much, that could be half an hour of time just down wasted for nothing, just faffing about. I mean, on most cars I've showed you, on some Citroen and Peugeots, you just hit the button on the dashboard, reset. The Vauxhalls do it. Even the Volkswagen Audi, the VAG group, you do have to use a scanner, but you just go on, hit one button, done. But with these, you've got to faff through every single one, and then sometimes they don't reset, and then it means that the service light doesn't go off because it's bringing up other stuff. Like, as in, the service light will continue to be on just because of a brake pad sensor. And if your brake pads are, like, say, 50% worn, and it can't be reset, so then you have to go changing pads and sensors for nothing just to keep a computer happy on a car. So we'll leave that one there. I'll probably leave that Corolla out of it. It's just a set of front pads, nothing special to show on that. And I'll get back to you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog to try and keep these down to a sensible time for uploading on Friday. So I'll catch you tomorrow on Wednesday's vlog. Hello and welcome to Wednesday's vlog. Not a great deal, because last night we did a wax oil on a Skoda Yeti. Forgot what they were called there. Not much to show. I've showed you on the MX-5 and the other car we did. Thought I'd just show you what's on this. That is meant to be a car that was coming in, a BMW, but probably I don't think it's going to be a no-show. 1600 Prince engine. Funnily enough, I've just had somebody just leaving the yard there now on about a Mini Cooper S Works with the same 1600 Prince engine in, with known time and chain faults. And I've got a feeling that's what's wrong with this BMW coming in, if it comes in. So what I've got in, I'll show you, give you a little bit of buying and selling advice for these. Nissan Note, I think this is an N-Tech, which is a nice spec. You get like your N-Tech Plus, your diamond cut wheels, sat nav, reversing camera, all that. Not a bad car. They're roughly based on a Renault Clio, and that's not a bad thing. They're not really, honestly, not a bad platform that these are on. Nice simple brakes to work on, cheap enough. Front arms can be problematic, but they're cheap enough, easy enough to fit. Not come across any issues as of yet with these with rotten subframes. They seem pretty much bang on. The only thing this is the petrol, 1600 petrol. All the petrols in these, bar the 1.2 3-cylinder, are not worth touching. But the 1200, 1.4, 1.6 Nissan petrol engines, absolutely bulletproof, fantastic engines, have been for a lot of years, so highly recommend them. Diesel ones is the 1500 DCI, like what's in our Scenic. Yes, they're a good engine, but in these, they're rammed in and can be difficult to work on. You will get good mileage, miles per gallon, cheap tax, lots of torque and power, but I would personally say stick with a petrol with one of these because they're very awkward and rammed in to work on. Few issues with these petrols, which dating back, if you've just watched one of my previous videos of an H-Reg Primera, these engines are very little changed from then. Usual issues, rotten sumps, we always spray them, got some high coat here, just general black spray paint. Always give them this little spray, they do tend to rot, and I have come across a few of them leaking. We just do that as part of servicing to protect them. And these things, honestly, go back to 20, 30 years ago to Nissan Micras and stuff, and this same problem. Nissan put these like heat shields, rather than around the apertures, they put it on the physical exhaust and they start to rattle. And believe it or not, they're an absolute nightmare to get off because they go right up over the subframe and down there, so don't be tempted to drive on at them because you'll just cause yourself a headache. Best way is put a hose clip around them and clamp them down, and then it quietens them down for a little bit. But to start trying to get up there to chisel them apart, especially the bit right at the top up there, you just give yourself a headache. But yeah, really, that's as bad as these things get. There's been a few little link arms here which subframe to the body which have gone wrong, causing rattles and knocks. Your usual stuff, drop links, trap rod ends, but that's any car. Doesn't make any difference what that's on. And then down the back, exhausts. I've done quite a few of these back boxes that tend to fall off. Nissan went through a bad phase at this time. Same with the Nissan Jukes as well. I've seen some of them 3 and 4 year old. The exhausts were falling off. But again, exhausts are not big money. All the brake pipes are usually covered in plastic, apart from the usual trick of not doing the ends. So we always coat that as part of them. Back springs, if they break, no bother to do, nice and easy. So are the front springs, actually, a little bit awkward at the top struts, but nice easy cars to work on. Bolt on struts on here, you see, just 2 bolts rather than the faff that Ford have. But yeah, generally, nothing's going to win your style or any kind of interesting. I've got anything to say like the interesting looking. They're pretty bland and boring, really, but as a general everyday runner, putting the dogs in, driving one, yeah, I would have one. I just wouldn't be kind of passionate about one. I don't know if I'll go out and spend 10 grand or whatever the cost, but I would have one cheap as a runner. 100% I would use one. So yeah, I just thought I would show you a bit on this. I'll swing this round. What we've done to it: oil and filter, air filter, front brake pads. Oh, sorry, there is one thing to look out for on these, which this has had done, is the ignition barrels. On all the Nissan range, the Qashqais, the Notes, the Micra, all those, the ignition barrels are made of something. I don't know if it's soft metal in the barrel or the key itself. Like there's some kind of brass or copper in them, and they get really bad. And if they ever start to click and not feel right, make sure you get it changed as soon as possible while it's working, and it's a lot easier of a job than when the keys actually snap. But Nissan, last time we did it, which the locksmith wasn't even aware of, do a full kit, which is basically your ignition barrel and a lock, because these only have there's not one on there, because with like most modern cars, they only have one lock, like these, you know, there's nothing at this side and only one. On these, on the Nissans, there's only one lock and barrel, there's nothing on the boot, it's just that one on the passenger's door there. So what it does, it comes as a kit from Nissan, door lock barrel and an ignition barrel with 2 little blades for the keys, which it's simply a screw, take the screw out, fit them. The 2 blades come ready cut and obviously coded to the barrels on the ignition barrel and the door. No coding involved, you just got to dismantle a bit of the steering column surround, and I don't even think the door card has to come off, there's just a screw in the side of the door and the locks pop out. So yeah, that's really all to look out for. I don't think they're a bad car. Like the Frog-Eyed Micra, which this is based on, the Note, not bad cars. But as for the Qashqai and the, what's a horrible thing, the Juke, definitely not. Juke and Qashqai, avoid. Note and Micra, and I think they do a little car version. Pulsar, not had much to do with them, but it'll be, I would imagine, a very similar platform to the Note. they're good cars. I would definitely recommend, especially with the petrol Nissan engine in. So when it comes down, I'll just show you under the bonnet, see what's of interest. I'm not going to do a walk around review of this. I don't feel it's really necessary, but I will show you under the bonnet of a few little bits and bobs what to look out for on them. Right, just to finish off today's vlog, like I said, I'd show you under the bonnet of these. Nice, simple to work on, the petrol ones. The air filter's under here. Plugs are a bit fiddly. You've got to lift this unit up, but it's not the end of the world. And what I tend to do with these is, when they first come into this for repeat service, is fit a set of platinum plugs, and you can leave them for 2 or 3 years, 4 years even, and then you don't have to keep faffing on with this every 10,000 mile. Like I said, air filter's just there. The oil filter's underneath, you've seen it. Everything's nice and easy to get to. Loads of space down the back of there to get the gearbox and whatnot. Just nice. A lot to be said about the petrol ones over the diesels, which are a nightmare to work on. One place to look at for rot is down here, which I always coat underneath and at the top. Micros are exactly the same. Just be careful with that area there. It has been a known spot to rust. But bar that, yeah, nice and easy. Now, a few years I've been on want to know about product, stuff like that, so I just thought I'd show you a few just to fill in the time, since I haven't got another car to be getting straight on with. You've already seen this, Normfest. I use the offshore silver, which is basically a ceramic spray grease which you use on like high temperature components, on brakes, exhausts. It's just a really good, smells like orange, believe it or not, as well, ceramic spray grease. Somebody's just been in with a Ford with a leaking thermostat housing. It isn't cracked, it's just the rubber seal on it, but he needs to be aware. This is a brilliant radiator sealer. It's got no rubbish in it. It's just a pure kind of liquid. There's none of that like kind of tar stuff that they put in it and iron filings. I'll just try and show you it if you can see it. It's just a poor tiny, if there's a little drop there, it's all it is. Just a clear liquid with no kind of bits or nothing in it, which is fantastic. It's the only stuff I would ever put into my, and it does. I can definitely tell you this stuff works. And again, this car doesn't do many miles. It's had a petrol additive in, the OT100 German quality, had that in. I also used their brake cleaner, which I don't think the sticker's on it anymore. It's this container down here. I think the sticker must be around the back on it. I can't be bothered to move it, but that's that. And you were asking about the oil. Again, the stickers have come off on the oil, but there's genuine Toyota oil. The stickers around the back somewhere on this, but as you can see on here, genuine Toyota first. That's what we use. So there was a few people saying, "Oh, Dan, put on what products you use," and this, that, and the other. You see all the filters I use. You see that's the oil. Obviously, I use different oils for like all the Eco Techs and the what do you call it, the Eco Booms, all that, the 020, the 520, Zero, all that stuff. I use different oils, but the majority of the cars take a 530 C3 fully synthetic, and it's what you call a multi-grade oil. It's listed on its track. It does everything: Mercedes-Benz, Nissan, Ford, all that stuff. So that's what we tend to use. And that's it really. I mean, if you've seen all the filters and whatnot that I use, I just thought I would add that one into it for you. So yeah, that's it for Wednesday's vlog. I'll get back to you tomorrow on Thursday's vlog and catch up with you then. Hello and welcome to Thursday's vlog. Got quite a bit in, so I'll have to be quick. I'll go around a few of them. I don't know how much in depth I'll be able to go into it, so we can get them out of the way. So first up, this was a last minute drop off last night. You've probably, if you've been watching me vlogs, maybe a month or two ago, we had this in for a near side front spring. And sure enough, the offside spring snapped the bottom coil off a couple of days ago. So I've got him in for this. One thing I was doing on this, it was serviced not long ago, but the service lights on these are a bit of a funny one. You can't really reset them until they come on. And what it was saying was, on the little display there, was service coupon expired. And you've got to use the diagnostic equipment. But this is what I'm showing you with some of these Fiats and stuff, man. It's ridiculous. You have to dismantle half the dashboard, you know, taking screws out and stuff just to get to the diagnostic port. I mean, why not just have it underneath or here? I'll never be able to work that one out. Why you would have to dismantle the bottom of a dashboard. Funny enough, some of the Seats are like that as well, where you've got to dismantle stuff, but luckily the newer ones aren't. So while I'm on the subject of service lights, I'll quickly show you. A lot of you guys have said you want to see how you do stuff and what you do. So obviously on this, when you switch the ignition on, it'll come up on the screen. give it a second. Oil service due. So obviously I have this little dongle here. You just plug that in into the diagnostic, which is down here. And there we go, that's plugged in. Switch the ignition on. Of course it likes to beep. Ignition switched on. Wasn't doing that 2 seconds ago. So obviously, anyways, quickly to the point, what we've done on this is an oil and filter. It's a little 1 litre, I think the 1 litre, 1.2, more than likely to be the 1 litre. 3-cylinder, so it's had an oil and filter, air filter. There was an engine management light on, which I've knocked off and put a fuel additive in, saying mixture lean. So I might have to just double check when the spark plugs have been done. Supposedly this has been done by the dealer, so of course the spark plugs will not have been done, but we shall see. But he was saying that it's supposed to have been done, so I'm not going to waste time taking them out. Just got to see if the light comes back on, which it hasn't done. It's been running, so fingers crossed. So yeah, I'll show you what we do on here. So obviously it's plugged in, ignition on, switch the scanner on, oil reset. It should already be in the history because I was already on clearing the codes there. See it? Load it up. This is what I'm going to show you compared to the minis, why they do my head in for being awkward. These are nice and simple. You just go in, let it load up. But just so you can see, this is all specialist equipment. You need to do this, you know. So auto oil reset, yes. Reset that. That resets it into the ECU. And then you've got your secondary one, which is the oil and inspection service, because it's had its inspection. Okay. Exit. Yes. It'll now beep to tell us to remove the not to forget me little dongle thing, which will now disconnect. Switch the ignition off. Switch it back on. And there you go, no more service reminders. So that's how you do it. But as you've seen, you can't do that unless you've got the proper equipment. So just remember that if you're going to do your servicing at home or whatever, if you haven't got the equipment, you're going to have to live with that. And to be quite honest, I have quite a few people coming into here where they go and do, unless I know them as a friend, and I don't mind that at all, but when you get complete strangers coming in saying, oh, my service light's on, I've serviced my car, can't take it off, expecting you to just turn the service light off for free. Not really into doing that because I don't know they've done it, and if they say that I've reset a service light on a car that I don't personally know has been serviced, don't tend to get involved with that. So just remember, if you're going to do your own servicing, unless you've got the right equipment, I mean VCDS would do this, but if you don't, you can't reset the lights, along with a lot of stuff on cars nowadays. So just a quick walk car. Personally, for me, this is where I just lose complete interest in the new range of VAG vehicles. I mean, I'm almost having to prop my eyes up to not fall asleep looking at these things. They're just so bland and boring. I don't know if it's just because it's in white or base spec, but this is... I like the old Ibithas. I had a one, the 06 plate one, where the lights come right across here, and they had like they were really nice. I'm trying to think what mark they were. You all know what they were, the Ibiza FR. But they haven't half gone like golf looking bland. I don't know if it's just a mixture of things. The little 15-inch wheels. I haven't seen 15-inch wheels in a car in a long time. The fact that it's plain white, bottom spec and dirty. Maybe if it was like clean, and I don't know. Just really, they don't do nothing for me. And they're expensive as well. And this is, like I've mentioned, the 1 litre 3-cylinder engine. I suppose if you're not interested in cars, it starts, it stops, it goes, perfectly fine. But for me, I personally think this van, honestly, has got more character than what these new VAG range of cars. And that's not just the Seat Ibiza, it's the Polo, what's the new Fabia as well. I'm not keen of that. And the Audi A1s and stuff, nah, definitely not. I like the older stuff, as you know. I've had like my Leon 04 plate. I've had the Golf Mark 4s. I can just about be okay with them. But anything newer, they all look the same. I mean, if you cover the Seat badge up there, you may as well just say that's a Polo. So that's my opinion. What's your opinion on it? Do you like them? Do you not? There's the interior. One thing I will say, thumbs up. It's got active cruise control. So to say it's a base spec, it's got quite a lot. It's got your radar cruise, which is nice to see. Obviously LED lights on the front. And thumbs up, I will say, it's got cruise control as well, which, as you know, I've reviewed quite a lot of top-end VAG vehicles, Scirocco, R-Line with all the full leather and everything. It didn't even have cruise control. So it's nice to see that they go to the effort. And that's what you tend to find. If you're going to get any of the VAG range, the newer stuff, I will say, go for the Seat or the Skoda, is they tend to really spec them up, because the Audi and the Volkswagen, like the Polo and the A1 and stuff, they don't need to try, because people kind of go crazy over the badge. Where if you get the Seat Ibiza or the Skoda Fabia, you tend to find they have a lot more spec to compete. So if I had to have a one, I would have the Ibiza or the Fabia over the Polo in the A1 or whatever the equivalent what Audi do. So yeah, they do have quite a few nice specs on them, but I don't know. I think it would look nicer, clean maybe, or a pearl white, or just a different colour. Bit nicer spec, but hey ho, I don't know. That's just my opinion on that. But like I've said, this van's up on the lift now. I'll show you. The little bit he's pulled it off at the bottom there, you can just see the broke nuts actually. You know what it is? You don't even need a light with this phone. It's really good quality, I will say. So there's the broken coil. We've got a strut top mounting, because they're renowned for going wrong with these, which I ordered last night. So we've got a Corteco, which is like original equipment, strut top mount, the spring, which are really expensive. They're like nearly 90 quid for these. I don't know where they get the prices from. And genuine quality length order drop link. But if we can avoid changing that like we did at this side, we will. It's just if it's a bother to get off and it's worn, we'll not bother. What else have we got? Fiesta, I'll just get the key for that. So this is in for an oil and, actually MOT. This is MOT, oil and air filter. And this is obviously full check over. And we've got this Fiesta in for the same oil and filter, air filter, and MOT. And it's just been in to get new tyres, because when we had a look at them, they were in quite a bad state. So we just sent the customer down and they've been getting new tyres fitted. Saves us putting any kind of the tyres, or actually it was just the ones there, and that one was okay. So yeah, this is a titanium of some kind, I think, is it? Let's have a look on the back. Yeah, it's a diesel. I'm sure it's a titanium spec. It's a decent spec because it's got all the keyless entry. See, the mirrors are folding in. Good little cars these, I will say. So yeah, this is titanium, so you've got your cruise control, automatic wipers, lights, climate control, heated seats, like a sport kind of seat as well. So yeah, I will give a thumbs up to these. Yeah, so obviously this is the diesel version. This is a car, is brilliant. I would definitely have one of these every day of the week, brilliant. But the diesel ones, unfortunately, are Citroen Peugeot. This is either be the 1500 DV5 or the 1600 DV6. I don't know which one, until they take all the covers off. But yes, that cheap tax, free tax, all the rest of it, £20-30 a year or free. They've got loads of power, they drive great, but when they go wrong, expensive and a nightmare. So for me, I'd sooner have the 1600 Z-Tech petrol. Mint cars, brilliant. Or a 1400. But this has got all the factory fit parking sensors, which I need to look at because they said there's a problem. So when I plug the diagnostics into it, it might give us an indication of which sensor's at fault, or if it's a module gone or something like that. So, like I've said with these, like I was showing you on the vehicle the other day, the oil filters on these DV6, DV5 engines are a right royal pain in the backside. The filter is down there. See it? Just next to that rusty, just here. I don't know if you can even see it from there. That's it there. So you've got to take the whole air box out, the intake pipe off, loads of pipes down there, and even then it's a nightmare to get to. Just a complete stupid idea. So they're a nightmare. So like with these, you've got to take the air filter and everything out anyway, so that's why we're going to change the air filter, change the oil filter, and I'll have a look at the parking sensors. So to be honest, I'm going to leave that there. And once maybe I get the van stripped down, I'll show you, or if I find anything else underneath this Fiesta, what to look out for. But I just thought I'd show you a little bit of diagnostics. I did that bit walk around on the S-Class, just trying to mix it up a little bit and put some different content into the channel, you know. So if there's time today, I will. If not, I'll catch you on Friday's vlog. Well, welcome back. I'm going to do a little bit of an update on Thursday's vlog. As you can see, the Fiesta's on the lift, been checked over, it's fine. But I just wanted to explain to you, ramming engines into vehicles, this Citroen Peugeot DV6, DV5 engine is never meant to be in a Fiesta, but they've rammed them in and they're not designed to be in here whatsoever, hence this reason here. So the whole air box has to be taken out completely, air pipes off, sensors, vacuum hoses, dismantling and disrupting everything. You know, like if this was a brand new car, I wouldn't want my car being ripped apart every time it needs a service. So the full air box is out, vacuum pipes off, the full turbo is exposed. I mean, obviously I'm going to cover that when I start to work. Got all the pressure sensor for the DPF having to be unbolted from the box just to get to this oil filter. And even now, we've still got this pipe in the way. These things I need to pull out the way to get in. You know, and it's just absolutely crazy why they do things and why they design it. Why did they not design it to have the filter at the bottom where you can access it, or there's probably not space at the top, but you just get a look underneath all this, you know, all those components down there, the fuel pumps down there. And this is a good car. Some of the Citroens and Peugeots, the scuttle panels out of about here, you can't even see any of that. It's just crazy, absolute madness now with cars. But that's this anyways, like I've shown you. It's getting the man oil filter. It's had the air filter done. I've already dismantled that and done it. Got all the next week's parts in, plus the leftovers have gone into the back of my old Astra, because there's just not space. There's that many jobs in next week to fill the cabinet. Got the little Fiat van on the lift. As you can see, the strut's off. Absolute nightmare. Again, the usual crap involved, having to remove wipers, which are, you know, we spent more time trying to get the wiper off with the professional puller, which will be out somewhere on here. Proper wiper puller. You know, you've got to have tools for everything in this trade. You know, why design a vehicle with the strut top right buried down inside of there where you can't get to nothing? You know, and it's just madness. And we spent more time messing on trying to dismantle the wipers and linkages and stuff to get in than just simply getting on with the job. So we've got it stripped down anyway. There's the strut, the broken spring. Like I said, we're going to change this top mounting. A, because it's an absolute pain to get to, and B, it's just good practice to do it actually, because it will start clunking on more than likely. And I'm not sure, I think my dad's managed to save the drop links up in on with that Fiesta yet, so luckily we've saved the guy having to fit a drop link, but we'll always order one in just to be sure. So there we go. The car was at the Ibiza. That's away for MOT now. Once he gets back with that, I'll probably take this Fiesta over later on. That'll be done. So yeah, it's just been absolutely non-stop. So I'm going to crack on now. Get this oil filter out, which I would show you, but it's a faff, and I'll be up the eyes on black oil. They're a faff alone, just getting the filters in and out of these. They're a nightmare. Once we've done that, get it built up, get the oil drained out, obviously, new oil in, get it off the lift. It's already been checked and everything underneath. Get the Fiat van done, and then we might get home at a reasonable time. So, catch you tomorrow on Friday's vlog. Bye. Welcome to Friday's vlog. Thought I'd just show you what I've got in today. Got this Yaris, which has had oil and filter done. It was MOT, but we got that done yesterday. And like I say on that, I'll just show you. You need a special tool for the filters on these, and a special kind of gasket on the sump seal. Don't be tempted to use anything else other than what Toyota provide. Same with these, use the proper tool because you can't damage them. Just been going around under this. I don't think it's got many miles on. Just going around. I mean, I'll just show you this. Obviously, you've got like polystyrene in here for crash impact, and there's some weird bit we found at the back as well, which we thought it looked cracked, but it isn't. It's just where the collapse, it's like a crumple zone. We've coated them all, obviously. Bottoms of the shockers where they puff up and rust, bottoms of the spring cups. So yeah, I'm pleased to see they've got the plastic tanks, and it's really nice to see plastic spouts to go up the petrol tanks. These have been huge problems for Toyotas for years, so it's nice to see that they've gone down this route. But if you want a good little car, little runabout, a Fiesta or a Yaris, highly recommended. You know, they're just so reliable. It's a little 1300, I think, this one. They're called the VVTI, and there's another letter they've added to that now for like eco reasons, whatever they've done. But the hybrid Yarises are fantastic if you do want one. Got the Mercedes in, like I mentioned. I've just done the release yesterday of this. I've tried to keep it out the video as much as I could this week. But I've done the release, so are you happy with it? Just to show you, I've just put a quick coat of polish on it. Totally unnecessary, because like I've already mentioned to you, it's one of the few cars I've gotten which didn't need anything done to it, really. Even the polished steward polished the death out of it, to be honest. But I thought I'd put a coat on because, well, I'm way down first thing tomorrow to Middlesbrough, so we're going to Croft racetrack. So I'm just going to leave it at Chris's and then head over with him and his car. I'll turn this. Due to costing reasons, I think you've got to pay per car and stuff, so it would make sense for me just to go straight down the A1 and go to Croft. But I'd rather make a day of it, and my son's coming with us, have a go in one of Chris's cars, and you get in as like a guest that way without having to, so it just saves us having to find somewhere to park the Mercedes, somewhere I've never been before, I don't know, so it's better I'll leave my car down at his, head over that way with him and Charlie. So yeah, it's all good, got it all ready to go. Let us know what you should do. Do you think I'm just wasting money or not? But at the back of this car, I've showed it on the other one, it's got the big fat back tyres on it. I think they're like 245s, and it's got a nice new one at that side and a one getting quite worn at this side, and they don't match. And when it's hard to see on camera, but when you're behind it, it just looks a bit naff. So I was debating getting the same tyre as the one at the other side for the left-hand side, so the match. Don't know, but I'll see how much they cost first. So yeah, so that's it. I'm just going to leave it here for this week. I don't know how long this is even running to until I review everything later on. I'll get it uploaded for you. I might upload this on Saturday, because I did just do the reveal video yesterday, and I like to give the videos a good 24 to 48 hours to be noticed as a new video, than piling 2 new videos out in the space of nearly 24 hours. Then I just find that the viewings drop a bit because people will pick which one they want, and it doesn't really go well for the viewing numbers on my channel. So I'll probably do this week's weekly vlog on the Saturday rather than the tonight or this afternoon on the Friday. I'm sorry if that's a bit different for you, but I think that's going to work better for me doing it that way. So let us know what you think. I'm trying to even think back to what's gone on this week. From the first part of the video, that S-Class was lovely. Have done a lot of work this week off camera. It's been quite busy, so I haven't been able to get as much as I wanted in. But like I've mentioned to you guys, the garage has to come first. Second comes Facebook, YouTube. It's just the way things are, you know. Like you got to understand that with us. I've got to put me job first. But yeah, let us know what you think of my projects. You know, I've got quite a bit sitting around at the minute now. I have got work lined up for the Civic. What I've showed, doing work to it. I've still got some on the Leon. I've got some obviously on the C-Class, which I've been doing to it. So yeah, I'll get that uploaded as and when I can. But like I've said, I've got 2 young kids, 2 dogs, my partner to see. I've got flipping everything going on at the minute. We've got caravan trips booked. So you just have to obviously excuse a bit of delay on getting back to you on replies and get my videos uploaded. But that's just life, isn't it? So yeah, I might get some. Got some at my eye. I might get some filming done of the racetrack if there's any actual racing going on, but there is definitely a car show there. So I might do a bit walk around filming tomorrow and get a Croft race day video done. Hope you guys enjoy that. But please remember, hit the like button if you've enjoyed watching it. Leave a comment, it's what it's there for. I'm sorry I'm not getting back to you as quick as I can, but you know I always do reply at some point. And if you haven't done so, please hit the subscribe. You know, 80% of my viewers aren't subscribed. It doesn't take more than 2 seconds. You just hit the button, that's it. No subscription needed, no details. You just simply beep, hit the button, that's it, done. So I'll catch you on next week's vlog on Tuesday. Thanks for watching. I hope you all have a good weekend. Bye.